Hello, who just joined?
Hello,
So,
how you doing, guys? It's me, Jawhar.
hi, Johar. How are you?
Fine, and you? How is everybody doing?
Yes, we are doing well. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I mean, today is the first day of Ramadan, right? So happy
Yes,
Ramadan Mubarak.
Abu Ramadan, brother.
Okay.
Allah.
So I believe no one joined so far because of the Ramadan, first day of Ramadan. Maybe they became hungry, you know. So
That's right.
so
I
you are
myself, I myself very hungry.
oh, you are hungry too. Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
I
So
want to
no one
apologize
joined so
to
far.
brother Alam, so we can have it sometime later.
No, I can continue with you. So if you can tell me what you want me to show you, so I can show you something.
To be very frank with you, I gotta run out and get some shopping and come back. So that's why I'm trying to just apologize for I'm not be able to attend this session.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are leaving now?
Yes, I'm leaving.
Okay, sure. So yeah, I am doing some other stuff. If someone join, and then I will continue. Otherwise, there is
Okay.
no session as well.
So if
Okay.
I want to get to see the previous group session videos, they are
So did you
recorded,
able
right?
to see all the videos, all three other videos?
Yeah.
Yes, no. Okay. So were they helpful?
Absolutely.
Okay, sure.
Absolutely.
Inshallah.
Sure. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Okay, brother. Welcome salam. Yes, who just joined? Yes, hello, Tasnim.
Assalamualaikum. Yeah, Tasneem.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I missed last week's class, and I missed a few group sessions as well. So I was just wondering. I think I'm behind a lot.
Okay. So, did you get chance to see the recording?
No, I didn't actually.
Okay, but you are in our group session, right? I mean, what's called the group chat we have.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So, and brother Morshed, he mentioned that he already shared 3 videos the previous session. So
For
you
the group
can
session.
watch those.
Okay.
Yeah, group session recording. Yeah. So today, yes. So are you ready for to continue this session now?
I'm not sure what we are doing.
Okay. So basically, brother Johor joined, but
Okay.
and also the thing is, today is the first day of Ramadan, right? So many things going
yeah.
on, and people did not able to join the session. But I can continue with you. So
Okay.
let's begin.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. So you said you are behind, so I can recap everything with you.
Just for the Java class, I only attended the first one, which was mainly the intro. That was 2 weeks ago.
Okay. So you missed also the classes other than group session, right?
Just one, because we didn't have class on Saturdays, the 2 weeks. So I was there the first Sunday, and then last week Sunday. The past Sunday I wasn't there.
Okay. Sure. So let me open Eclipse or IntelliJ. What do you have? Eclipse or IntelliJ?
Eclipse, that's what we were using.
Okay. Yeah. So let's open that and we'll continue. Give me 1 second.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So let's start. Can you please confirm that you can see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
All right.
That's the part we did on the first class, just printing out a statement.
Okay. you printed the hello world, right?
Yeah.
And do you, I mean, can you run this program without any hints?
Yeah, this part I can.
Okay. So now, I mean, what else you have learned so far, other than this?
That's all.
That's all. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me actually
And I wasn't in class,
show
so I'm
you.
not even sure what else he showed.
Okay. So let me show you the what's called the first group session that I have done since no one joined, so I can
Okay.
recap with you the first group session.
Okay.
Let me open my. And you have never joined. I mean, you never. I mean, joined with me, right? I mean,
No, this is my
you did
first
it.
time.
Okay.
Actually,
It's the first
Murshid,
time.
he's
Right.
my major mama, and yeah,
Oh, okay, okay.
he told
Yeah,
me, but I
maybe
was
I.
traveling
Okay.
that time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's begin. So in Java, basically I start with JDK.
Okay.
So, but I believe you have knowledge of JDK. What is JDK? What is JRE? What is JVM? And what else? And what is IDE? So this is I start with, and then
Okay.
I move to the Hello World program,
Okay.
and then I talk about the Java primitive type. So now, 1 second. So now you are up to this point, so you know how to print Hello World so far.
Yes. Mhm.
So let's talk about primitive type. What is primitive type? Um, Before that, let me print it out here. So, so you don't have to take this note at the end of the session. You will get it. So
Okay.
you don't have to
Thank you.
take any note from here. So in Java, there are 8 primitive types.
Okay.
So what primitive type means, I'm coming to that point. So let me write it down those here. The first one is byte, and then second one is short, and then third one is int, fourth one is long, and then we have a float, we have double, we have what else we have, char, then a boolean, and then string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. So this 8 is considered as primitive type. String is a special type. This is can also be considered as primitive type, but string is also a class. So in
String are
Java, we have
characters, correct?
string
String
is
are basically like a group of characters.
yes, group of characters.
Okay.
You're right. So now, what byte can fit? I mean, what is the maximum value you can keep in a byte type variable? Do you have any idea?
4, right?
Uh, no, not
Oh no,
4.
8.
Just give me a number, a decimal
Why?
number.
Um,
So what is 8? So byte is
8.
8 bit.
8 bits
8 bit.
equals 1 byte. Yeah, right?
Yes, is
Okay.
8 bit is equal 1 byte.
Okay.
So inside of 8 bit, what you can keep? What number you can keep? Or what is the maximum number you can keep in a
7,
8 bit?
I think.
Um, no, it's not 7. It's 127. So the
Oh,
maximum number you can keep is
okay.
127. So you can
Okay.
actually read more from let me show you the Oracle documentation.
Okay.
If you write on Google um, Java primitive type, and from from the Google documentation, you can see this page right here. This is from the Oracle. So here is saying on a byte, you can keep up to 127, and the minimum number will be negative 128. So we can write the same here. 127 is the max number, and the minimum number is 128.
Okay.
Right. So this is the number range you can keep inside of a byte type. So how about short? Short can keep up to 16 bit. Int can keep up to 32 bit.
Okay.
Long can keep up to 64 bit. Float, I believe, is 32, and double is 64. So char is 16 bit, and boolean is 1 bit, and string is a class, so the memory is not fixed. So and for what is the minimum and maximum value, I'm not noting everything here, so you can basically see that from here. So in a 16-bit memory size location, you can keep the maximum value is 32,767, and this is the negative value, right? So in the same way, you can get some hints from here. But what you have to understand is there are 8 primitive types in Java, and Java is a typed language. That means whenever you declare a variable, you must mention the variable type. So now let's analyze that. In Java, we cannot keep a number simply like this. We have to keep that inside of a variable, right? Like this, right? So this is called the assignment operator, and this is the value, right? In this case, it's a number 1, it's a decimal value. And what should be the x?
The name or the variable.
Variable, excellent. So variable. So we can call x as variable, right? So x is a variable. And what is the equal sign?
Assignment operator.
Exactly. Assignment operator. Okay. And what is the 1?
The value.
It's a value. Excellent. So in Java, you cannot actually write this way. As I mentioned, you must mention the variable type before you write the variable, right? So now it can be either primitive type or reference type, right? So in Java, there are type. So there are 2 kinds of type in Java. One is primitive type, and other one is a reference type. So here we have discussed about the primitive type. So, and we also have the reference type that I will come to some other session. So now you cannot simply say X. Before X, you have to mention one of these. Am I correct? Okay. So now, what do you think? What should be the type of X?
I mean, we could use a byte just to save memory.
Excellent. We can tell byte. So now can you tell me, so this is a type, right? So now can you tell me why you have chosen byte? Why not short or int or long? Can you explain?
Because it's
why you
taking.
have chosen byte?
It can store up to like that negative 128 to 127, and the value stored that I'm storing in the variable is just 1. So I mean, mainly to conserve space in the memory.
I mean, mainly what?
To conserve the space.
To save some space, right?
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Yes, I mean that is the answer. So you could have used short int or some other, but in that case you are actually taking more space from memory, but you are keeping a small value. That means you are wasting memory, right?
Mhm.
So it's a good idea if you definitely know that your value will never be more than 127 and less than 128. You should declare a byte type variable, right? So
Mhm.
now that is the reason you have chosen byte. So now is it a complete statement? This is not a complete statement. We have to end with a statement syntax, which is a semicolon,
Semicolon. Okay.
right? So
Yeah.
it's called end of statement. So what we have used? We have used uh, type and then variable, which is x, assignment operator, which is equal sign, value, which is 1, end of
Mhm.
statement, which is semicolon.
Semicolon.
So if I write that line without any space, it will be something like this, byte 1, right?
Mhm.
So now we understood what is going on here, right?
Yes.
So these are the primitive type. Now let's you have understanding of primitive type. I mean this. Let me note it down here. So byte is integer. Then short can also be considered as integer. Int also is an integer. That means you can keep whole number here. So
Okay.
long is also integer. So you can keep whole number here. Float is for double.
Decimal points, right? Or like, yeah, double.
So I'm sorry. It's a floating point. It's a floating point of and also double is also floating point.
Okay.
And char is a single Unicode character. So you can keep a single character like, okay, I'll come to that point. And Boolean can keep either true or false. So it just takes one bit from your memory location.
Mhm.
Um, so it's either true or false. And string is a class, so I don't have to mention anything here. So the idea is the first four, we can keep the whole number, and float and double, we can keep the decimal point number, and char will use. So let's give an example of the int is same as byte, but we can keep longer number than byte, and you can see the maximum number int can handle is 2 to the power uh, 31 minus 1 is the maximum number you can keep, which
Yeah.
is a very big
That is
number.
quite big.
Yes. And this is by this is int. Let's give one example of double. So double x equal, you can keep actually 1.1.
Okay.
And let me give one example of char. So inside of char, you can keep a single character. So, but you have to keep it inside of a single quotation mark,
Okay.
right? So
Mhm.
what you can keep inside, you can keep one character. You can keep a, and as an example, you can keep capital A. You can keep a number. You can keep a sign. You can keep a special character. You can keep, let's say, one space, right?
Okay.
So
Yep.
these are the example of the character. So is it a valid character or invalid? Is this a valid statement or
No,
invalid statement?
invalid. It can only store one
Because
character.
exactly. So this is invalid. How about is this valid or invalid?
It needs the quotes around single quotes.
Exactly. So this is invalid. I need
Yep.
to either change the type. So now this is valid,
Hmm.
or I can make change here. This is valid, right?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. And so now you know what is char. How about Boolean? Do you have any
And you have to
knowledge of
label
Boolean?
the thing too, right? The variable name, char something, and then
Exactly. Yes.
okay.
So Boolean x equal what Boolean can be?
True or false.
true or false. It cannot be anything else, right?
Yeah.
So can I write like this?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you are right. How about this?
Yes, that's fine too.
How about,
No.
so this is invalid statement. So
Mhm.
how about if I write I mean 5 less than 6?
No.
It should be yes, because 5 less than 6 will evaluate
True.
a
Okay.
Boolean value. So this is a, it will return
Oh,
a
okay.
true value.
Mhm.
So that means, so that true will be assigned inside of X variable.
Also, I have a question. Like 1 and 0 are like also represented true or false. So, I mean, can you assign it 1 or 0 for Boolean?
So 1 and 0 represent zero, I mean false, true and false in. Okay, so that is in C language, not in
Okay.
Java.
Okay. Then never mind. Yeah, I took C++.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where I'm getting confused.
Okay. Okay. So if you, so it's not actually 1 and 0. It's 0 and any number other than 0.
Yep.
What you
Yes.
have learned in C, right?
Mhm.
So 0 means false, and any number other than 0 will be evaluated to true.
True.
But
Yes.
that cannot be applied in Java. That is for other language. So here,
Okay.
you have
Then
to
Java
tell
any
either.
statement. Okay. Yep. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So no, it's right. I mean, thanks. Yeah. I mean, you can share your experience so that we can discuss more. So in Boolean, you have to mention either true or false, or you have to mention a statement or expression that, I mean, not sorry, I mean, not a statement, an expression that evaluates a type, I mean, a Boolean type. What does that mean? Let's say if I write a 1 equal 1, so this is an
That's
expression,
true.
right?
Yeah. Mhm.
So this expression will return a Boolean type. So what it will return?
True.
True. So equal means is checking the equality of its left and right side. So it will
Yes.
return true. So now I can keep this inside of, I mean, in my, as a value of, let's say like this, is more visible.
Okay.
So instead of a value, instead of writing true or false, I am writing this because Java parser will first evaluate this, and it will come up with a solution. It will come up with a result with either true or false, right? So that
Mhm.
value will be assigned inside of X. So now you got the idea, right?
Yes.
So
How
if
can
I
you write the
write,
expression as false? Like if you do 1 not equal to 1, would that automatically set it to false?
yeah, so if I write 1 not equal to 1, so this
Mhm.
will evaluate to false, right? So that
Okay.
false will be stored in X variable,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
So now you got the idea.
Yes.
Any question here?
No.
Okay. So all right. Now, so you know string, boolean, you know char, you know double.
Yes.
For now, just know that float and double are same. Just if you declare a float number, you must mention you must mention f at the end of the number. But this is not that much important for you.
Okay.
What you have to remember is int, double, char, and boolean. So that's
Okay.
enough. And in string we will need every day. So
Mhm.
string your x equal. Do you have? I mean, do you know how I should keep a string value?
Yes. Double quotes around it.
Hmm. And then I can keep
Write anything.
anything,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Anything, yeah, inside it. Okay. So this will be considered as a string.
Okay.
Right. So now let's show you some. Let me show you some real life experience in actually in IntelliJ or in an IDE.
Okay.
So if I want to actually do the same, just copy it and paste it to IDE and see if that is working. So can you tell me why I'm getting error in line 10?
Line 10, because you're reassigning X to different things and you're calling everything X. So it doesn't know what to maybe store.
Okay. All right. So, all right. So how about, so why I'm not getting error now?
Because now it's just reassigning X value, byte X to 10.
And previously what I did?
Let's set it to 1.
Okay. So yes, so you are right. I'm reassigning in this second. I mean, whatever I have shown before. So here, why I'm getting error, because I already used X, but I'm trying to use X again, right?
And changing the type as well, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay. So all right. So it has to be, the name should be different. I mean, in a single scope. So the scope, what is the scope of this variable inside of this method, right?
Yes.
So the method started from here and ended here. So inside of this scope, you cannot use, I mean, duplicate variable name. So it must be different. And we have given example of byte and then short x2 equal number, and then int, then long x4 equal a number, right? Keep setting 1 for now. And we have double, actually float should come before double. And we have char 7 and boolean 8 and string 9. Now can you tell me, so this represent comment in Java. So anything after this 2 character you write, that line will not be considered as part of the code. So the compiler will skip that line. So now if I write here x1 equal x2, if I take off the comment, do you think this is a valid statement or invalid statement?
That is a valid statement.
That is a valid statement. So so you are trying to keep a short type. This is a short type, right? What is the type of this variable?
Byte. The first one is byte, the second is short.
Okay. So you are trying to keep a variable of short type inside of a variable of byte type.
You can't do that, right?
So
byte is smaller.
I mean, logically, I cannot do that, right? Because this is bigger and this is a smaller. I'm trying to push something bigger inside of smaller thing, right? This should not be. Okay, so let me try. So it says incompatible type, right? Required byte found short, right? So how about if I write x2 equal x1?
That one is true.
So this should be true. I mean, if you think logically, this will fit inside of this type,
short,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. And it says this is true.
Okay.
Okay. So how about if I tell x3 equal x4?
True.
True. So int and long, right? So int is 32-bit and long is 64-bit, right?
Yep.
Okay. So which is bigger, int or long?
Long is bigger.
Okay. So now, check now.
Okay.
Is line number 15 is a true statement or false statement?
True.
Because
the small one can fit in the large one.
the small one can fit in the large one. So it should not be true, right? It should be
Oh,
false, right?
yep.
Okay. So because this is smaller, so if
Yes.
we want to make it true, it
The
will
other
be
way around. Yep.
yeah, other way around. Okay, so we understood that. And how about if I write x4 equal, let's say x7?
True. Because
Actually, this should not be true. I mean, this should
oh,
not. I mean, not be true,
character.
because now we are not. Now we are not. I mean, playing with integer anymore. So you can do
Oh,
those
okay.
logic inside of integer, right? So now
Mm-hmm.
you move to a different category. So now you are not on integer category anymore. So
Okay.
whatever you do, it will be never true, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's the reason I mentioned this 4 can be considered as integer. So you can apply those type of logic, like whatever you said, this is bigger, this is smaller, it can fit that number, right? So those
Mm-hmm.
can be considered inside of the integer types like this. And you can, and the floating point types, you can do the same, right?
Okay.
But
Yeah.
if you deal with like char and int or string and number, in that time you cannot
Mm-hmm.
apply those logics, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got the idea?
Yes.
Okay, so now let me show you one thing. But double and integer, you can play with those. How about if I write x4 equal x6?
Would it be no as well? False? Because they're the floating point?
Okay, yes, exactly. It should be wrong statement. So if I write the other way around, what it should be? I mean, will it be true statement or false statement?
Would this be true?
Yes, this
Because
is true
integer can
because
be floating. Or no? Okay.
okay, no, because I am writing it. I mean, before declaration, so I can actually write it here. I mean, we declared that in line 20, right? So, but I was trying to use it in line 15.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that was the reason. So, but
Okay.
I can.
Yep.
Yes, I can use it. But as I mentioned, you cannot keep x4 inside of
x6.
x6 instead of x4 unless you do any casting thing. But I am
Is
not sure
like
if I should
double
show you
bigger
now.
than the integer, or why is it true?
I mean, which one?
The integer can be stored in double.
So integer cannot store double number. So I'm getting wrong
Yeah,
here,
but
right?
double can store integer, right?
Double can store integer. See,
Yeah, my question is
if I tell,
why is that?
oh, why is that? Because so in double, what in x6, right?
Yeah.
So x4. Now, if I tell x6 equal x4, which is 1, so x6 can keep 1, right?
Okay.
Same as x4, it can keep. But
Is it because it's bigger
how
in
about
like storing, or the way it
so
acknowledges it? Or
okay? So if you keep x4 inside of x6, the actual value will be 1.0 instead of 1.
Okay, I see.
You got this point, right? I mean, you understood that, right? But here, there is no floating point system at all inside of the integer system, right? So how can you
store the
keep
1.1
x6, which is
in the
yeah, it will never, you will never be fit. I mean, you will never able to fit 1.0 inside of a integer type, because integer does not I mean handle the decimal value, correct? Okay, but if you definitely want or if you want to force the number inside of the integer value, there is a way. In that time you will lose some information. So let's say if the value of x6 is 1.1 and this is double type, and this is integer type, right? But it cannot keep 1.1. But you are trying to keep 1.1 inside of X4, which is not possible, right?
Yeah.
So what you can do now, you want to keep at least one, the first portion. Let's say in that time you can cast. This is called casting. So you can cast of in type, right? So now, I mean there is no more error, right? So now, since you cast it, so now the value of X4 is 1. But let's not go to that far, right? I mean, now,
yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So now we have understanding of Java primitive type. Any questions from Java primitive type? And I see that someone else joined.
Yes.
Brother.
Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Kareem.
Walaikum salam. Yes. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Ramadan Mubarak for everyone.
Ramadan Mubarak. Yes, actually, Tasneem, she missed few sessions, so I was from the first session, right? I was going through some topics, so and I can also take your questions if you have any, so that I can continue with both of you at the same time.
Oh, thank you. No, I don't have any question. I just would like just to join because I know these reviews are helpful. Found it helpful. I couldn't join for the last few days as a commitment.
Okay, so do you also want me to recap whatever I'm doing?
I was the first session testing for group C4. I was not in this group.
Okay, so did you able to watch those 3 group session videos that I have shared? Brother Murshid shared
No.
last time.
I was in the first one, but I missed the other 2.
Okay. So
Yeah,
seems
but
like
this
all
one,
of you are skipping the
this
group
is the
session.
second.
But all of you should join group sessions.
Okay. Yeah, no, you just go ahead. If I miss any part, I'll catch up with you guys. But I don't have any specific question at the moment. But if anything comes up, I'll ask. Thank you for letting me know.
Sure. Okay, no problem. So let me continue with the Java statement then. But please ask me any question whenever you have. Okay.
Inshallah.
Okay. So, Tasneem, do you have any question from primitive type as of now? Whatever I have shown last 45 minutes.
No, I don't. I actually have a question from the top where you have the topics written, the JDK and stuff. I know what IDE stands for, but I don't know what the others actually stand for. I know JDK is that a compiler or?
No, JDK is not the compiler. JDK is the Java development kit.
Okay.
So, whatever you installed in your first session, in your first class, Brother Tarek, he told to install download JDK, right?
Yes.
So it's so whenever you are using, all these libraries are coming from JDK, right?
Okay.
So this is the first installation. The software you need in your system in order to develop a Java application. And what is JRE? JRE stands for Java Runtime Environment.
That's what he told us. We had to take it off to use the JDK properly.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. So once you want, if you want to use an IDE, you have to configure JDK also. And if you want to if you want to run Java program without using IDE, you have to manually set the Java path. If you are using Windows operating system, that is also part of the JDK configuration. And JRE is part of JDK, but okay, so JRE, why do you need JRE and why do you need JDK, right? So if you want to develop application, if you want to write Java application, you need JDK. But let's say you don't want to write any application, you just want to run those applications. In that time, you just need JRE, right? Let's say if I give you some example, if I go to yahoo.com. And if you see here, let's say this is an applet. Let me give you an example of applet that can take input. Let's say this is an applet, right?
Okay.
So this is Java application, and it can maybe it can take input from user. So it's a Java application, right? So if you do not have JRE installed on your machine, this ad right here will not run. Right? You got the idea?
Yes.
Yeah. So that is the reason you need JRE. But if you installed download JDK, JRE is also inside of that JDK, right?
Okay.
And we have the concept of Java virtual machine. So Java virtual machine is so you can think of this way. So this is a platform. This is a platform for Java application, right? And this is an abstract platform, and JRE is the implementation of JVM. You can think of that way.
Okay.
Okay.
And that is integrated development environment?
Yes.
Okay.
Integrated development environment. You do not need an IDE to write Java application, right? You can write it using Notepad or any text editor. But
Okay. Yes.
you can take advantage of from the IDE. It has lots of features.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions from here?
No. That's...
Okay. And brother Siddiq, do you have any questions from here?
No, sir, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, sure. So in last session, I was explaining the Java statement. So let me copy it from here. I'll cut it and paste it here. Okay, so these are my topics. Actually, my topics is this. Okay. And what else? Okay, so now let's move to the Java statement.
Okay.
So in Java, there are three kinds of statements. One is called expression statement, one is called declaration statement, and the last one is called control flow statement. So far we have covered expression statement and declaration statement. So let me explain how we covered those. So declaration statement, right? So what is declaration statement? So let me explain it here. So declaration statement is when you declare a variable followed by the statement operator. Or let me explain it here. So a type followed by a variable name, followed by the what's called the assignment operator. I mean the statement syntax.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. Excuse me. All right. So in declaration statement, so whenever you write a variable type followed by a variable name, so this can be considered as declaration statement. So can one of you can give me one more example of declaration statement?
Can make it double X.
Excellent. Double X. Okay. One more example. Can someone?
Char X.
R X. Okay. It can be any. It can be X, Y, Z, anything, right?
Y. Yep.
let's say y2.
Also, the naming convention for variable, is it like a uppercase, lowercase? Like if you're writing a 2-word variable name?
Okay, so actually that is a good question. So let me discuss that before I discuss the declaration statement. So the variable name can be the combination of the following, right? So what it can be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z, right?
Mm-hmm.
Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, right? And then what else? You can keep 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then it can keep underscore. Then you can keep the dollar sign. And that's all, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now anything other than this, you cannot use anything other than this.
Okay.
You are allowed to keep lowercase a to z, then you are allowed to keep uppercase a to z, then number 0 to number 9, then underscore and the dollar sign, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Now based on this information, can you give me an example? Can you guys give me some examples of variable name, Java variable name? Okay, so let me ask you, and you can answer me.
Okay.
Is this a valid variable name or invalid variable name?
Valid.
Valid? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, you're correct. How about
Yes.
this? Okay.
Yeah, uppercase,
How about,
lowercase.
okay. Yes. So how about CD?
Yes, it's a
Yes.
combination.
Okay, combination. Okay. How about let's say A B C, then A B C? Same? Is
Yeah.
it true? I mean, is it invalid or valid?
Yeah,
I mean,
valid.
I think it is valid,
Valid.
but my question was that is that like I mean, what's the good practice of naming variables? Because I know some people like to use like a small letter
So
and then the
yeah,
next
that is
word
also
if they're using 2 words as a
okay.
variable name. Yeah.
Okay. So yes, I'm coming to that then. Okay.
Okay.
So let me finish
Okay.
this. I mean,
Yep.
I need one or two more minutes here.
Okay.
Okay. So how about A1?
Valid.
Valid. Okay. How about A underscore?
Yep.
Yes.
Valid or invalid? Valid. Okay. How about underscore A? Let's say P.
Yep.
Valid or valid?
Yeah. Valid.
Okay. How about underscore?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. How about dollar sign?
Yep.
Yes.
How about mini underscore?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. How about this?
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Is it
No.
valid or invalid?
Invalid.
And now?
Yeah.
Valid.
Okay. A few more example. Let's say, can I write underscore 1?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How about 1 underscore?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this will be invalid. because there is an exception right here. So let me write it down here. Exception. Name cannot be started with a number. You just have to remember this exception.
Okay.
So now here it started with a number, right? Or it can be simply a number. So this cannot be considered as a variable name because it started with the number 5. It also started with the number 1. So this is invalid. So let me give you one more invalid example. How about this?
No.
I mean, because of what?
Because it's an assigned I mean, it's a reserved word, public.
It's a keyword.
Yes, you are right. Yes, you are right. So we have two exceptions actually. One is, I mean, name cannot be started with a number, and second one is, name cannot be the Java keyword.
Okay, keyword.
Okay. So except these two exceptions, you can do whatever you want with the combination of this letter. I mean, this combination of this, right?
Okay.
Right. So we are done. Now coming to your question that what is the convention? So this is the rule. You can keep, you can name it. I mean, whatever you like. But what is the convention? What is the meaning of convention? By the way, who can tell?
Um.
I mean, can I tell convention is the rule?
Yes.
No, it's not the rule. Rule
or
is you
it's like
cannot break the rule. Right?
widely, or
Practice, exactly, practice. So rule you cannot break. write something in IDE as well, but let me um, give you the hints of the structure of the if statement. So the if statement, the structure is it should start with the keyword if, followed by the opening parenthesis and the closing parenthesis. And that's all. We are done. So this is the structure of if, and inside of this, a Boolean type, an expression of Boolean type can go, right? So who can tell what is the expression? I mean, what is the Boolean type of an expression? Who can give an example of what line 39. Okay, let me check. Go top. Okay. Yes. 1 second.